Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Kiljaedas. How's it going? We are back with another Raiders recap. That is right. It is the bye week recap and everything. Yes, this took a long time, guys. I apologize. Personal stuff was getting in the way of me putting out this video, but luckily it's going to be up soon. All right, so let's go ahead and let's just recap what's going on with the Raiders all the way from week 1 to this bye week. Honestly, guys, at the start of the season, we thought that we were going to be firing on all cylinders, especially with Devontae Adams bolstering the freaking offense and everything, the wide receiver core. I mean, yeah, let's just face it. We all thought that we were going to be 5-0 by the time that it got to the bye week. I mean, but unfortunately, that's not the case. As the final results, it is we have a 1-4 record. We are 1-1 at home. Away is 0-3. I mean, it's bad, guys. Division, we're last place with 1-2. Conference, we're in last with 1-3, and our non-conference record is 0-1. I mean, it's bad. Honestly, guys, if you want to know anything about our team, this scene fits perfectly of how our team is. Sailing into bye week with pretty much a damaged ship just sinking. Except for we're not as smooth as freaking Captain Jack Sparrow. Instead, we are met with pretty much slipping and falling on our butts on the dock. That's how bad it is. Sailing into the bye week, we are pretty much sailing on a ship that has holes in the hull, flags burnt, rudders busted, sails torn. Yeah. But, you know, on a good note, though, for playoffs, still in the race for now, but it's going to be hard. I mean, pretty much you need to have around possibly an 11-6 record in order to possibly make it into the playoffs, and that's not even guaranteed that you're going to make it into the playoffs if you're 11-6. I mean, sure, maybe 10-7, but that's a high price. And yeah, I can't say enough about it, but it's bad. So let's go ahead and go over stats. We are going over the NFL offensive rankings. So where do the Raiders stack so far in the league with this bye week? As you can see, for passing, we're not doing that good, kind of, sort of. That's the one thing about the bye week, is that, you know, a lot of people's team stats are kind of mashed together where there's a lot of ties and everything. As you can see, you know, you got in touchdowns, we have, you know, we're 7th, you know, we're tied for 7th. Interceptions, we're tied for 5th and everything. It's kind of, that's the one thing about the stats. However, you know, again, passing game has been doing okay. The problem is that of the over reliance on the passing, and that is the huge. That's the one thing that unfortunately our coach Josh McDaniels doesn't seem to understand, is that, you know, our passing is dynamic, but we need to establish one thing only, and that is the run game. Now let's look at the rushing stats here. I mean, we are dead last in rushing attempts. That has got to pick up, like, exponentially, after all, because again, when we finally decide to use the running game and the Broncos game, we end up winning the game. We were doing very, very well. Hell, we were this close to beating the Chiefs, or at least tying them. We were going toe for toe. Why? Because we established our run game. That's important. And, you know, again, Josh Jacobs is just doing a phenomenal job on that aspect as well. Moving on, though, to receiving. Here we go for the receptions. Again, receptions kind of coincide with passing and whatnot, but still, I mean, our wide receiver core is pretty good, but I mean, honestly, it can be a lot better. But once again, you see a lot of ties right now because everyone's stats are kind of blended in together. The more and more the season goes on, they'll start thinning out to more solid ranking. For scoring and everything, as you can see, rushing touchdowns, not that many. There's a lot of receiving touchdowns, which is kind of good, but I would like to see more rushing touchdowns. Why? Because establishing the run game is more important than the passing game. I mean, it just shows that it's our bread and butter. We're not doing that bad on offense, actually. That's the main thing. We're not doing that bad. It definitely we're going to thin it out a little bit later on, but I mean, honestly, I don't see that us doing that bad. It's mainly, again, one thing about our losses that we've always just made like one or two stupid decisions that cost us the game. So good job on us on offense. Here's our defensive rankings now, guys. So for this one, again, it's attempts against us, completions against us, and whatnot. We're definitely holding our own when it comes to the passing game. But again, we're kind of a little bit on, even though we're in the middle of the pack, we're also kind of in the later middle. If you look at all the rankings, and touchdowns, we definitely, touchdowns were third, and that sucks. We gotta pick that up and do better in the red zone. Moving on to rushing, though, guys, look at our rush defense. This is one of the best things about that I saw. Again, rushing attempts. No one wants to rush against us because look at the yards. It's unsuccessful. It's unsuccessful to rush against us. We're really good at our rushing defense. We hold the run really good. However, with rushing, kind of, the passing game, unfortunately, works against us, as usual. But still, good job to the defense for that. Scoring, yeah. This is our defensive scoring and everything. So we're actually tied for second place and for fumbles recovered for a touchdown. And then, and then of course we also have at least one safety that we got. So we're tied for last on that one. Moving on to the turnovers, here we go. I mean, if anything, this is one of the most important stats that we can have defensive wise is can we get turnovers. So far we're not doing that well in the turnover department. I know you look at it and you're like, ooh, look at that, we did all this other stuff, but it needs to go up more. Our defense needs to produce more in order to give the offense more chances to score. Because again, if we can at least just pull ahead and keep making sure that we score on every single try that we make, that'd be awesome. Especially capitalizing and scoring on off of turnovers. Moving on though, special teams. Now listen, guys, Daniel Carlson is the freaking man, the myth, and the legend. He is tied for attempts, even though he technically is, there's a lot. Field goals made, he is first. He's tied with a couple teams, but again, 100% field goal percentage. Now, of course, it goes down and everything with the extra points and whatnot, but still, he is the man, the myth, the legend, Daniel Carlson. Let's go ahead and move on to kickoff returns. Yeah, well, we're doing not that well with kickoff returns. Basically, it's the fact of the matter is, many people that are kicking to us end up just getting touchbacks and whatnot. So I mean, that is what it is on that one. Yeah, there's nothing much to say about kickoff returns. Punt returns, we're kind of in the same boat with punt returns. I mean, there's not that many punts that are coming to us. I mean, they're either being punt out of bounds, or simply no one's punting to us. Which, defense, step up your game so that we can get punted to more. For kicking, this is for like kickoffs and whatnot, and punts. As you can see, we're kind of in the middle of the pack here when it comes to some of these stats. Our kickoffs are fine. Punting, same thing. It looks like we're fine, but once again, it's mashing in all together or stuff like that. Daniel Carlson is doing great with 4 of his punts inside the 20, and most of those punts that he has done, yeah, we want to see more of them inside the 20, but unfortunately, that's the problem, is that our punting, we've been backed up so far that AJ Cole just can't punt the ball as far down to where we can get the guys inside the 20. It's just, it is what it is. Moving on though, guys, here is the Raiders versus the NFL. This is comparing the two teams now to my right, which is your left. That's the Raiders. And this way is the freaking NFL. Guys, yeah. If you look at it, all the stats and everything, this is pretty much what's going on right now, is that we are just, we're losing. There's a reason why we're 1-4. Luckily, there are some good aspects to it. I mean, if you look at it, we have more total offensive yards and everything. We got a lot more rushing yards than the other team. Same thing with barely with passing yards. Sacks, we have more sacks. Again, we are 15 for 15 for field goals, while other people are 4 and 6 on field goals against us. I mean, pretty good. However, they have more touchdowns than us. Then they also, their turnover ratio, it's in the minus for us. They are winning when it comes to turnovers. We need to get more turnovers, and badly, seriously. But yeah, and that's pretty much it. The NFL, and there's a reason why we are 1-4, and the stats show it. But god dang, though, I mean, you gotta remember, our point differential is very low, extremely low. Like, again, we're missing it by at least one possession every single time. We're not getting blown out, so that's one positive aspect that we can come away with this. Here we go with our team stat leaders. This is within the team, of course. So here we go with passing. As you probably already know, Derek Carr is the guy that is leading the way. He has 1,279 yards. His completion attempt is 61.4%, which is 113 for 84. Listen, there is, I believe, Mac Hollins has 100%, but I'm not putting that there because he only did like one pass. I'm sorry, you gotta do more than one pass to get on the list. Sorry. Touchdowns 8, 4 interceptions. We need to lower that number, of course. Longest was 60 yards, which I believe was one. Actually, it was the Mac Hollins, I believe. He was sacked 11 times, which, again, O-line, you need to get your crap together. Come on. Scoreback rating is 87.7. Not bad, not terrible. Rushing leaders, though, you have Josh Jacobs leading most of the way with 91 attempts for freaking 490 yards. The yards per attempt, though, is Derek Carr, because he's had those breakout runs that he had, which, I mean, good job on him to actually exit the pocket. Longest, though, was Josh Jacobs with 43, and, of course, Josh Jacobs with 3 touchdowns. Receiving, Devontae Adams and Hollins are duking it out, with Adams having 29 receptions for 414 yards, but Hollins comes back with the yards per reception, 16.1. The longest being 60 yards. Touchdowns, though, Adams leads the way with 5. Moving on, though, to defense. Here we go. Tackles. It is Divine Diablo that's leading the way. Solos, though, goes to Hobbs, but then Diablo takes it with the assists. And then Max Crosby leading the way with 6. Safeties, yeah, none. Fumbles, though, we have Hobbs, Crosby, and Harmon both getting at least one fumble. Interceptions, it's Harmon and Robertson. And then pretty much Harmon wins out all the rest of the stuff with 13 interception yards. Yeah, you know, it's there. Moving on, kicking and punting, of course, the man, the myth, the legend, Carlson, just because I want to see those sweet field goal numbers again. 5 for 5 for 20 to 29 yards. 5 for 5 for 30 to 39 yards. 1 for 1 for 40 for 49. And then 50 plus, he is 4-4-4. The man, the myth, the legend, Daniel Carlson. Punting, AJ Cole, as you already saw with all this stuff before. 14 punts, 730 yards, 52.1 average, 66 yard longest. Was not blocked at all. There was returns for 7 though, and with 115 yards for them inside the 20. Now, when it comes to returning though, Keenan Cole wins the day with 4 returns, 4 fair catches, yards for 5.8 yards per return, longest 13. Kick returns, Amir Abdullah wins the day for at least a couple of those stats, which is 3 returns, no fair catches. He has 56 yards total, 18.7 yard average. However, the longest was from Bolden, 32 yards. Here we go, guys, with, well, it is going to be the least favorite portion of our show, which is the bacon praise burger versus the turd sandwich. We are 1-4. You all know what that is. We are going with the turd sandwich. What is a praise burger in general, besides being a bacon praise burger? What is a praise burger? So if you are wanting to get someone at work to improve in something that they're doing wrong, or if it's just a loved one at home that you just want them to improve in something and everything, instead of directing the cannon and blowing holes into your own ship like the Raiders have done, maybe you should just give them a praise burger. And so a praise burger is, you start off with positive praise, then you go with stuff that they're doing right. You go constructive criticism on things that they can improve on that certain aspect, and then you finish it up with a positive praise to complete some deliciousness. However, this is the turd sandwich that we are doing today, so that means criticism, positive praise, criticism. Let's get at it, guys. So let's just say this: self-harm. The fact of the matter is, we are 1-4 because, not because the other teams beat us, it's the fact that we beat ourselves. The cannons of our ship were not directed towards the other team. They were directed at us. Someone must have gotten and just did it backwards somehow. I mean, that's horrible. First game, it was the turnovers. Second game, it was the fact that we just decided not to step on the neck. Third game, it was the fact that we didn't run the football. And then, of course, we had the idiotic decisions of wanting to go for it on a 2-point conversion. And then as also and I say this again, Hunter Renfrow being still concussed because he decided to run into Devontae Adams. Again, this all stems from idiot decisions. We got to make better decisions, whether it be play calling, execution. We got to make better decisions. That's just pretty much what you need to do. That's how everything's going to be fixed from this self-harm. Now, granted, we have been competitive. That's the one thing we can take away that's positive. We've been competitive. Not only that, but when you guys finally realized that we needed to run the ball, you ran the ball. And that's the greatest thing that you could ever do, is establishing the run game. You know, again, once you establish the run game, the passing game is going to open up for you. And it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be glorious. Now, defense. Defense has stepped up when it mattered. You know, most of the stuff that I've seen from us that killed us was offensive blunders. Defense, yeah, they gave up quite a lot and everything. I'm not gonna lie, yeah, they gave up quite a lot, especially during the Arizona game and the Chiefs game. But still, I mean, honestly, the defense showed up when it mattered the most. We just gotta do better. Moving back though, the O-line needs to improve. They just gotta get better. You know, to make sure the car has plenty of protection, as well as also establishing the run game. You know, they gotta win. They gotta be better. And then after that, guys, I mean, honestly, we gotta be consistent. The fact that we can show that there are several times where we showed up and kicked butt throughout the entire first half, and then suddenly just fall flat on our face into the crap. I mean, the second half. I mean, that just can't happen. It can't. And if we continue to do this, we really are going to be eating turd sandwiches for the rest of the season. And not only that, but not make the playoffs, when we are way too talented to be 1-4. We're too talented. We should be 5-0. At the least, we should be 2-3. 1-4, that doesn't cut it. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what we have going on right now, guys. Texans are next. That's a must-win game for us. If we lose against the Texans, I would almost say that we can kiss our season goodbye. There should be no reason why we don't beat the Texans. So, thank you very much for watching this video, guys. I have my blacked out hat on, Charles Woodson jersey with my hoodie on underneath. That's it, guys. Thank you for watching this long video, and I shall catch y'all later. Bye.